Everyone. This is Tuesday, May Thomas. I'm really so grateful to be here with you. I'm so grateful for everyone who subscribes, everyone who watches and shares. This last month has been huge. I don't know about your path, but for me, since April all the way up until now, May 22nd, I have been going through massive life changes, and while they've been good changes, they've still been very difficult and very challenging emotionally to go through, to traverse, and to navigate, and to process. And I feel that that is an ongoing theme. I feel that there is still this theme of releasing, of exorcising those people, places, and things from our lives that no longer fit, that don't have anything to do with who you are or what your life is going to be encompassing as you move forward. And it's not to say that those people, places, or things did not play a very powerful and significant role up until this point. It's just to say that from this point on, there's massive change happening and continuing to happen. The vortex is open right now for you to make huge life changes, for all of us to make huge life changes. And if we don't, when that vortex closes until the next time it opens, we are going to have to move through the hoops of life with those aspects that we've chosen, whether we've chosen unconsciously or consciously. So now is the time to choose consciously those people, places, and things that you feel that you wish to truly be with from the honesty of your heart, from the absolute vision that is guided from your heart space. If you do not extract, release, make peace with, bless, and let go all that is ready to be released, and it's really all that stuff that you already know in your heart. And for some of us, we've been doing it, and that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. And it's been hard, even though it's stuff that I know it's done. The cycle has run its full course, and I would be not honest to myself if I would continue to move forward in a certain fashion with certain people, places, and things, and it would not serve me, nor would it serve them moving forward in everyone's truth and glory if I wasn't making these choices and these changes in my life. So that is very much a part of what I feel this reading is going to be about, and what you're invited into being conscious as we move through this next month. And again, I think what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to just try it out. I'm going to try. Oh, we just had a card fall out. I'm going to attempt to do 4 weeks of readings instead of a full month reading. So what that's going to mean is I'm going to have more tarot card readings on the YouTube channel, but also they're going to be shorter. And speaking of shorter and longer, I'm growing my hair out. So you're going to see some variations of hairdos over the time as I shapeshift. So what we'll do now is bring our awareness to the cards. I use the Osho Zen Tarot deck. It's a beautiful deck, very powerful, and I've been using it for a very long time. I feel an affinity with it. I am not guided this month to use any other deck, or at least for this week's reading. So this week we're going to be looking at May 22nd of 2017 till May 29th of 2017. What is our highest divine guidance? As a collective, this is a general reading, as a collective, mind, body, what is our most high divine guidance that we may be served by, and that will serve each of us individually, and also all of the collective for the highest good of all. We call in our guides, our angels, those divine ascended masters, the light beings, all those entities and beings that speak the language of love. You are invited in to assist me in being of service in the greatest way that I can bring the best reading that will serve the most amount of people that are guided and drawn to watch this video. Okay, what I'm getting is to break it up into threes. So we're going to break it up into 3, and then I'm guided to take 4 from this top one. So I'm going to go 1, transformation, 2, understanding, 3, I peaked, traveling, and 4, intensity. Okay, fantastic. And then we're going to see if we're guided to pull anything from those other 2. And the card that did fall out from the beginning is aloneness. So this card speaks very powerfully to the aspect of nobody's going to do your journey for you. In traditional tarot, it mimics the hermit. There's a person alone on a journey with their staff and their backpack going forward to the land of the unknown. And that's where you're invited to be. There is a sense that if you're very, very comfortable where you are, chances are you're not stretching yourself far enough. That's what this timeline is all about right now. It's about you coloring outside the lines and stretching your known boundaries, your known limitations of what you expect from yourself. And if you're not feeling a little bit uncomfortable and a little challenged and a little scared and a little freaked out at what you're calling into your life, then chances are you can go deeper into your exploration of the truth in your heart. And again, those things that you may be called to surrender, to release in service of you following your heart. Because again, only you can do that. Only you can follow your heart. Only you can serve the truth in your heart. No one else can do it for you. No one else can heal your life. No one else can heal your addictions. No one else can heal your heart. No one else can live your truth for you. Only you. So this is a big one. And this is a major arcana card. And because it did fall out when we were shuffling, we're going to allow that to just be there with us as we go through these other 4 cards. So this week does definitely speak to, this is another major arcana card. This is a card of transformation where we move from sleeping. You see there's this face here at the bottom, and this face is sleeping, face up. There's this hand though, touching, the fingertips barely just touching the mouth of the body. And this deity-like being has all of these tools at their dispense. There's a chain that is broken, a snake shedding a skin, the phoenix rising from the ashes, the sword of discernment cutting through the veils of illusion. There's the yin-yang, the lotus rising from the mud. There's so many different aspects happening and brewing in this card, and this is the time. The gateway, the vortex, whatever name you should give it, is open right now for you to, again, what's going on in your relationships romantically? What do you need to change? What can you be healed by? How can you communicate with others in ways that is going to help you move forward, which is really being more present in the moment, in the truth, in your full power and authority? What's going on in your personal relationships? What's going on in your career or in your work sector? Are there things that are requiring change, requiring your attention there? What's going on in your body and in your health? Are there aspects that you haven't looked at or that you've been denying and that are ready for your time and attention? What's going on in your finances? What's going on? Are there things that you're just turning a blind eye to? Now's the time. The vortex is open for you to be courageous, to make those changes, to assert yourself, to activate that calibration of transformation further. Because it's this kind of energy of, do you want to go kicking and screaming? Or do you want to go on the wings of love? And that's the kind of energy that we have. While the vortex is open, what that means is that the energy in the universe is ripe and ready for you to show up in your truth. All the aspects of your truth are being lit up in the invisible realms, and as you say yes to that, they can match you and connect to you and so serve you in your moving forward in honoring those truths. It's when we do not honor those truths, and especially when the vortex is open for a quickening of connection, and so an even more expedited sort of sense of living, of bringing it down to earth and really calibrating and bringing into our life those aspects tangibly, really third dimensionally and physically, all that they can be. When we do not honor that and we look the other way and we don't do the work and we don't take time to be in silence and to be still, or to journal and to meditate, to do our yoga or Reiki, all these things that we miss out on that clear connection to divine source and all the power that that is. And so, while the vortex is open, it is our opportunity to connect with those powers that lie beyond this world, so that we may be served, nourished, and fed by them, so that we can serve, nourish, and feed others in the world. Does that make sense? I really hope it does, because that's really, I mean, we can have a conversation about what life is about, but that's really what life is about. It's about you being honest and true to your heart. And this is like, I feel like I say this constantly, but that's all it is. Yet it's like one of the hardest things for all of us to do, is to just honor that truth in our hearts, to listen to it, to be still enough, to be quiet enough, to take time to honor, and not only just listen. That's like the first step, is to be able and open to create the correct conditions so that we can listen and hear it and have a sense of what that truth is. But then once you have that truth, our job, your job, is to run with it, is to go with it. It's there for a reason. It's to place those seeds of pure perfection in your heart. Actually, the seeds of pure perfection are already in your heart. And when you resonate and you honor and you take time to hear that, now your job, now that you've gotten the message, now your job is like bringing it down to earth, bridging heaven and earth. How do I live that here and now? And so when we do, well, see, this is the thing, is that when you do honor those truths and you say yes to transformation, you say yes to greater understanding, greater self-love, is there are sheddings of skins, there are release of emotions, there are breaking the chains that bind, there are sometimes anger comes up, sometimes resistance comes up, because what you're doing is you're letting go of the parts of you that felt safe and comfortable and that got used to things being a certain way. But you know what? Change is a constant, and the more that you're adaptable and able to allow yourself to consciously be present, know what is true to you, but also know that there is a divine plan and a divine power, God, source, higher power, Buddha, whatever name you give it. And when we can allow ourselves to give our talents, abilities, and skills to that source, to then move them through us in ways that serve not only us, but the highest good of all, there's an unleashing. This is what I've been going through. You're not who you think you were. And so there is like a crisis, because you're like, who am I? I thought I knew who I was, and now I'm changing again. You know, it's like this whole, it can get really dramatic. But that's why we write. That's why we journal. That's why we maybe drink a glass of wine. I know I love that. But, you know, everything in moderation. But that's why we have each other. That's why we have our classes and our safe, sacred spaces, our meditation cushion to go to, our journal to go to write, so that we can ease and oil and salve and medicine the way through these transforming times. So yes, transformation, the gateway is open for you to say yes to the truth in you, but also know that as you say yes to the truth in you, there's going to be parts of you that cannot go with you where you're going. So you're going to have to be able to learn how to gracefully say yes to yourself and bless what is left behind. And trust that there's more in the future. There's more, because it's all really right now, but there's more, so you're not going to miss out on anything. And what happens through that transformation is this incredible understanding. This card is so beautiful, and it truly is a card of the emotions. There's this bird sitting on the edge of the cage, and it's sort of flapping its wings, and the card's kind of old, so you might not be able to see so well. But there's all the bird's friends are out there just like flying and free and having a good time, and this bird is like, oh, I'm nervous. Oh, I'm nervous. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. Oh, my God. But then what happens is it just decides. It makes the choice. It says, yes, I get it. I understand. And actually, the only way to continue to understand is to break free, is to move through that cage, is to know that the cage is illusionary anyway. You already are that version of yourself that has transformed through the hall of mirrors of the matrix of this grand design of this universe. There is a version of you that already is that you know that elevated, transformed version is. The vortex is open so you can jump through it, so you can break through it very gracefully spread your wings, fly, take off from that perch that you've been sort of sitting on that's been, you know, it's like a stepping point. But it's your turn to take that chance and to trust in yourself and to move forward, because remember, only you can do it for yourself. Aloneness, right? The next card here is traveling, which is very, very exciting. And there's this tiny little figure. Let me see if I can find it. There's this tiny little figure up here somewhere that's backpacking, that's hiking. You see him, he's right there on the trail. And this is just this huge, beautiful, crazy mountain, who knows where, wherever you know your mountain is. And that's you. That's you on the journey of self. That's you. That's you exploring who you want to be, who you are, and where you're going. And it's a card of fire, and with it, right next to it is the intensity card. And the intensity card is a card of fire as well. And if you see this being, the energy of them is coming to this light point, shoo, or actually they're going the other way, shoo, right? There's this arrow of energy in this intensity card. So what happens is, as you transform, as you release those qualities, those patterns, those things that no longer serve you, yes, you go through like a detox, you go through a purge, you go through like some emotions or some releasing, right? But that's where you're gentle on yourself. You lay your hands, you do your Reiki, you go to nature, you write in your journal, you do all those things to be gentle to yourself. And then what happens is, as those things disassemble and those tears fall and you purify, you find this courage. You're like, oh my gosh, okay, I've seen the light now. I know what the truth is, and I get to reach beyond this safe space where I've been before, where I've been for some time, because now I have a greater understanding, now that I've let the past go, and I'm willing and ready to move forward. So as you move forward, you go on a new journey. You begin to travel on your own journey. There's only one person on that path, and that's you. And only you can take that journey for yourself. But as you do, you begin to amass intensity and light. And you begin to move mountains. You begin to move with greater velocity in the direction that is true to your heart. And that is sure to bring you infinite blessings. So do it. Do it in this next week. Only you can do it for yourself. It's time for you to be true to you. And I thank you so much, and I bless you. Thank you for subscribing, for sharing, for liking. I have not been very good at communicating with comments. I'm going to be better at it, though. So if you want to leave a comment, I will check. And thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Namaste.